Nate McMurray is joining us now. Nate, welcome back to Hardline.
Hey, it's been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Nate. So hadn't heard from you in a while. Why throw your hat back in to not only into a race, Nate, but again into a red district?
Well, because we need change and we need people brave enough to run against party lines. I mean, the problem with American politics is most of these districts, the politicians get to choose their voters, and it's supposed to be the other way around. So, yeah, I run in races where it's hard to win, but where it's important. There's almost complete Republican rule in Niagara County. My opponent will come on and make excuses. She's been in office forever. All these guys, I mean, we're talking supermajority rule in Niagara County, and Niagara County is losing population every year. Niagara County, on average, is far poorer than even Erie County. So you have to run in places where it matters. That's where I grew up. And I thought, there's an opportunity here for change. Let's make some change.
What when looking at the district and looking at what you're looking to take into the assembly, what are some of the points that you really think need to be stressed by an assembly member for that district when they get to Albany?
Well, number one, the current leadership. We have a Republican congresswoman, right? Republican assembly person, a Republican state senator, almost full Republican supermajority, and all they do is say, we can't get anything done because of Albany. I mean, all they do is blame Albany. There's no personal responsibility, and what I want to do is bring back money to Niagara County and gain control, local control, or some of the assets of Niagara County. Now, unlike most politicians, including the person I'm running against, I have a record in the private sector. I have, most of the people in Western New York have no private sector experience whatsoever. And you can call me whatever you want, but I do. And I know the opportunities that we have in Niagara County. You have history too on Grand Island, where I got a lot done in a very short period of time. And unlike most politicians who don't want any type of conflict or just hide behind their desk, I got things done. And I left Grand Island with a AAA credit rating. Lots of projects that happened across Grand Island. I mean, things that people said were impossible, like restoring the old Hooker Chemical Building into a hotel, the West River Trail, all these things that we did. So I want to bring that type of let's get things done attitude to Niagara County, where you have the greatest, natural wonder in the world, Niagara Falls, and the greatest source of green energy in the world. And I'm just sick of the excuses. They're always complaining about Kathy Hochul or Albany. Let's figure out ways to get things done. If they can't get things done, why are they collecting a paycheck?
Now, Nate, when looking at your social media, you see very little of what you're talking about. It seems to be more focused on the president. It seems very much like the Zellner campaign, where Zellner's running against Trump in a state race. Do you think that's the way to go when you're running in a district that the Republican won by 10 points last time? It seems like it seems like you're running a campaign that's meant more for Tim Kennedy's seat, not Angela Morinello's seat.
Well, Joe, it's not true. I talk more about what's actually happening in the county than my opponent or any of the Republicans do. I just happen to also be willing to talk about Donald Trump. And I also talk about Democrats. I'm the only person, I think, in local politics that has attacked both parties and had beef with both parties. I have been bravely independent. You know that, Joe. I mean, everyone who follows me knows that. So, yeah, do I complain about the things I see happening in our country, like the fact that we're in a war nobody wants and the fact that, we can't go to the gas station, all these other problems? Yeah, sure I do. But I also complain about the fact that there's a giant solar project being built in Cambria with $30 million from the Republicans. They're giving $30 million or close to $30 million to that project that they complained about and said they would stop, a complete bait and switch. I talk about the fact that the casino deal is a complete scam, and that casino deal was designed by Republicans. I take on brave issues all the time that I never heard any of these people talk about. Where are they talking about the Goodyear plan and the alleged pollution that's causing bladder cancer for the people that live out there? So I don't agree with your premise. I do talk about national issues, but I also talk about local issues probably far more than any person in Niagara County.
Last time we heard from you, Nate, I think the last time we heard from you, you were running against polling cars, right? Or you were going to primary polling cars. We know how that ended. So what's your standing? You're running as a Democrat. You were at an event with Zellner signs. What's your current standing with your party?
Well, the Niagara County Democrats endorsed me, and I'm proud to have their endorsement. And we have a strong party for the first time, in a long time on Grand Island because people see what I got done on Grand Island. There's lots of things people can physically go and visit and be part of on Grand Island that we accomplished, that we got done together. So the party in Niagara County supports me. Have I had problems with the party in Erie County? Yeah, sure I have. And I'm trying to find ways that we can work together. It's important for me to do that going forward when I go to Albany to help Niagara County. But I'm not going to be someone who just sits back and does whatever the party tells me. I think that's what the problem with my opponent is. She hasn't said anything. I mean, we have some real problems up in Niagara County. I want you to ask her, why is the spokesperson for Niagara County someone who admitted to a felony of defrauding the state of New York of $2 billion? Ask her if she was part of appointing someone that had a history of being a sexual predator. I mean, these things exist in Niagara County because you have one party rule in Niagara County, and you have people that have been in office for decades and think, hey, it's my turn. I'm going to step up and take control. Now, when I challenged polling cars, I thought, listen, there's things that went wrong, and we need to have change. There's so few people who do that on either side. So, yeah, I've done that in the past, and I will do it going forward, but I'm also going to look for ways to work together.
If you look at Niagara County, I think one of the biggest issues is Niagara Falls. It's embarrassing as a tourist trap. It's one of the wonders of the world. I think many people, I don't care where you stand politically, would say that it's been run into the ground. I mean, I think my take is you could blame anyone. It's a Democrat mayor. It's a Democrat governor. But anyone that's had anything to do with Niagara Falls, I think it's been a complete failure. As a member of the assembly, how do you address Niagara Falls? You can't go over the mayor's head. What would your goal be?
Man, I think Niagara Falls is a huge part of the future of the whole region. When people come here from all over the world, and millions, no matter how you cut it, come here to see Niagara Falls, they often come away saying, what the heck is going on there? And listen, I was a supervisor. I know how difficult it is to run a city, even when you have a good tax base. The city of Niagara Falls does not have a great tax base. They have a very small budget, but this county legislator has a $500 million budget. What are they doing to help? Remember, George Maziarz and Pataki are the ones who made the casino deal. People don't understand that deal only gives one-third of the slot machines only to the city of Niagara Falls. So one of the things I would do is say, hey, it's time to re-examine that deal. It's been 20 years. That casino has sucked up all the resources. So many local businesses closed because everyone just goes to the casino because you can't compete. You can get, your meal comped or this or that. We have to think about how that casino can better benefit the city that hosts it. But beyond that, we have to realize the whole county was designed in a way to take money away from Niagara Falls. That has to be rethought. And if you look at Angela Morinello and others, they have done very little to actually help Niagara Falls. Angela Morinello said recently that Niagara Falls already has too much money. It's already gotten too much. I want to remind Angela and everybody else that places like Niagara Falls and Art Park haven't received money in a generation. Meanwhile, the advocates up there in Erie County got $750 million for Canal Side. Everyone loves Canal Side. Where did that money come from? It came from Niagara Falls. It came from the contract with the New York State Power Authority. So someone has to go to Albany and stop complaining about Albany and saying, hey, when are we going to get our fair share? And I think anyone listening to this who knows my history of fighting for what I believe in and fighting all sorts of power, both sides of the aisle, they'll realize when I go to Albany, I'll get results.
What would you address first, Nate? A few months ago, I was helping out with a photo booth at the Falls, and while I was doing that, I also did a little door dashing through the area, and I mean, you go less than half a mile from the casino, and you have roofs that are caved in. You've got abandoned houses in almost every neighborhood around the casino. If you're in the assembly, if you get the money, say that the money that you're talking about goes to the Falls, what are you addressing first?
Well, the reality is we got to go street by street, working outward from the park. The park is looking great, and we have to move outward from the park. One of the things I said is we have to take away some of the authority from the park and return it to the city, like the parking, to which Angela Morinello said that's insane. I don't know why it's insane. I mean, Robert Moses is the one who put the parking in the park in the first place. But we have to work outward from the park, street by street. But one of the things no one talks about is that almost 400 acres of the central of the city is owned by a billionaire developer, who now is claiming he wants to put a data center there and is asking the city for a huge sum of money. A lot of those broken down, rotten houses you see, are actually owned by a billionaire in New York City that gives money to both parties. Someone has to say to this guy, what are you doing to this city? You've had this land for 30 years. So I think one of the first things I'll do is address that guy and go visit his office and say, hey, how are we going to get you out of there? Because you've destroyed that city for a long time. And everyone who lives in Niagara Falls and knows the local issues that are often ignored by the Buffalo News and otherwise knows this sucker has absolutely exploited that city for a long, long time.
So, Nate, what do you say? As I said, this is a district that was almost 10% won by Angelo Morinello. Now, you've said that you will go to task with any on either side of the aisle. But if someone comments on a Trump post on your Facebook, you respond to them. So, what do you say to a Republican who says, "Hey, I might not want to vote for Republican, but Nate, you're attacking what I believe on your social media"? What's your response to that?
I would say to them, listen, would you rather have me hide, not tell you what I really believe? I mean, this station supported Chris Jacobs against me. Remember, he put on a face for you guys, put on a mask, and then when push came to shove,
the station doesn't support candidates.
A lot of people advocated against me on the station for him. So I will say this: he lied to you. I won't lie to you. Now, do I think Trump is good for the country? No. Now, we talked earlier. I said when Trump first was elected, I was the first one to say, listen, he's the president. Let's figure out ways to work together. But it's been a long time at this point. Our national debt is soaring. We have a war nobody wants. We're about to give, according to reports, $300 billion to Iran. For what? All these issues. So someone has to say, this is crazy. These guys work for us, right? And if I get in office, I'll be working for the people. So sometimes you're right. My rhetoric or I can be strong-willed. You know that, Joe. And I have I have a way of speaking that sometimes people call Trump-like, if I'm honest. But in the end, my heart is for the people here. I am from Niagara County. I grew up in North Tonawanda. I live on Grand Island. I love this place. So if you're willing to give me a chance, or you want to go with the status quo and someone who's been in office forever and all their friends are in office and has worked in government their whole life, go ahead. You know what you're going to get with that. With me, you're going to get someone who's going to try to do something different and actually bring change to Niagara County. And it's been a long time. One thing I want to talk about, too, is look at Art Park. Remember Art Park when we were kids? It was a great venue. Art Park, that's just one issue. Art Park has not received any serious funding in decades. They may get a window fixed here or whatever, the stage painted. You're not drawing major acts anymore to Art Park because our Republican leadership doesn't have the ability or the willpower to go to Albany and say, how are we going to get money to fix Art Park to make it a thriving venue again? You need someone in the room who's not just going to fight them, but going to figure out ways to get deals done for Western New York, and I'm someone who's going to do that.
Nate, I got to ask you this question. I've asked many Democrats this question, so it's not just you, but obviously you and Jeremy Zellner did not have the best relationship. I know that you don't live in his district. You have nothing to do with his district, but he is the chair of the Democrat Party and also a state senator. Do you think that's proper, or do you think he should step aside from the chair to be state senator?
Oh, I've said before he should step aside, but I'm going to say something good about Jeremy for once. Listen, Jeremy has taken a lot of shots. He is now the state senator. There's a thing about Jeremy that obviously he and I have fought a lot over the years, and I'm proud of some of those fights. But I'm going to say this. Jeremy's the kind of guy you can sit in a room with and actually have a good time talking to. He's a normal person. He's from a working class background. He's not some scam artist who just wants to get in office. And, I think he really has a belief system and a backbone. Now, do I think that he has too much power? I sure do. But if he's over Grand Island as state senator and I think he's fought hard to secure that seat in any way that he could, I am going to find ways to work with Jeremy to help Grand Island because we're both going to be representing Grand Island. And I think as a person, one of the things I'll say about Jeremy, unlike most politicians, he's somebody there's a reality to him, a realness to him. But to your question, yeah, he should step down. He should have one job. And I think that's coming.
Nate McMurray, he is running for Assembly District 145. Nate, I appreciate that not only have we had some words on social media, but unlike other people, you'll actually come and talk on the show, and appreciate the time today.
Joe, you deserve the show, man. Congratulations on all your success. I'll talk to you soon.